YouTube page. Hello, everyone. This is Mike, and this is Tony over here with his awesome hair slick back. How's it going, Tony?
What's up, guys? Very unexpected last-minute show. We decided to do it tonight here at my house.
As always.
As always. This is a very fun environment here at the Matuk household. Right, Mike?
How's it going, brother? Yeah, man. This is here chilling. Had a little chicken before we got on the air here. Cleaned up a little bit, and now we're about to go on live to talk about wrestling for everyone here.
Exactly.
Anyone that likes to watch wrestling, this is a wrestling podcast. We talk about WWE. On occasion, we have a few other guys, Jay and Isaac, that talk about independent wrestling. We go over a little bit of NXT also. Tony goes over a little bit of wrestling history depending on the topic, and we get into terminology, everything.
Oh yeah, this is like it's like getting a free degree from Armbar.
We call it the Armbar wrestling.
They should just give us a degree, an honorary degree, just for professional wrestling in general. Mm-hmm. Though tonight, Jay and Isaac are not going to be here tonight. Jay and Isaac are busy with work, but coming soon, we will have the architect back, by the way. We will have him on the air soon. So
hopefully in the fall.
Hopefully in the fall.
Shout out to you, brother.
Yeah,
if you're watching, I hope you got the notification and that you are watching us right now. And if you aren't, I'm going to be mad, pissed off. All right.
And Chris from HEB, loyal Armbar fan. Every time he sees me, it's like no gloves every hour of the day, man. And I want to give you Jay a shout out for my partners in crime. Dude, I know you're working really hard, man. I'm really proud of you. We're doing this for you guys. You keep doing what you're doing. We can't wait to have you back on the show. It was just a great time having Jay last week on the show. It was awesome. A special appearance, and I know he felt really good, like we're all whole again. I know all four of us need to be back again. Who knows what happens? I mean, never say never in the Armbar universe, just like you say never in the WWE universe. We have so much stuff to cover, too. Man, we have what?
Too much to talk about.
I don't even know what to start.
Yeah, oh man, there's too much to talk about, especially Extreme Rules, but I don't know. How do you want to get the other show started? The KCYP show started.
Boy, well.
Do you want me to do it, or do you want to cover the intro there?
Well, yeah, we can take turns. I'll start the intro.
You'll start the intro. All right, here we go. I'm gonna give you a countdown. I hope you be psyched up. All right, and loosen the nodules.
Me. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna give you a countdown. Ready? On 5, 4, 3, 2.
And today, and welcome to another episode on Armbar Universe. Armbar Nation, guys. KCYPLP. This is the Armbar Nation. Today, it's going to be me and my colleague right here, Michael Basadua.
Business over here, guys. How's it going? Happy May, the 26th? Because they... Yeah.
No, it's actually May 26th.
Well, May 26th.
We're May 26th. We are live.
26th Thursday.
Even though technically it is May
the 24th. Today's the 24th.
Today is the 24th. By the way, on the 26th, guys, just want to let you know, it's going to be my 9-year wedding anniversary. I'll be 9 years. I've been married to my lovely wife, Liza Matuk.
Happy early anniversary.
I love the woman like crazy. She's my baby. I love you, honey. Happy anniversary. I can't wait to have some good anniversary when I get home. Have a nice candlelight meal. But anyway, besides that, we're going to get to some wrestling. Everybody's been speculating on so many things going on, a lot of things that have been announced, a lot of surprises in the wrestling world, a lot of changes. Starting with Extreme Rules, we're going to start with that pay-per-view. Now, man, the first match, okay, it was a tornado tag match.
The Usos versus Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows.
And that match, and I believe Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows get the win.
Hold on. I think they did actually.
They get the win.
They were triumphant over the Usos. But Tony, you want to actually kind of explain to the Armbar Nation out here what a tornado tag match is?
Tornado tag match is you don't have to tag at all.
Basically, all four guys in the ring at once. Actually,
exactly. All four guys in the ring at once. No tagging. No 1, 2, 3 waiting for the person to get in the ring. And no, it's all everything goes. It's like a no holds bar without any necessary rules.
Yeah. Do you think that they should have more of these?
I think so too. I mean, it's ridiculous. Each guy will be on top of the other person. There should be.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see why tag teams should exist anymore. I think it should just do tornado.
Yeah, I mean, now I don't necessarily agree that tag teams should not exist. Obviously, I mean, there wouldn't be a tag division, obviously, but I mean, but at the same time, you have to look at like the type of matches that they really put them in. And honestly, like aside from like them putting them into like multiple tag team matches, like 6-man tag, 8-man tag, etc., we don't really see a lot of extreme matches like we did at Extreme Rules, and I guess that's the pay-per-view name, obviously, right?
Tornado, I mean.
But that's a classic, match, and it's something that was very exciting to see, in my opinion.
When was the last time we seen a tornado tag match? That was back in WCW, Nitro?
The Attitude Era.
The Attitude Era, it's been a long time, and
yeah,
they should have those more often than just a regular tag team. So the Usos, they put pretty much those guys over big time. I mean,
it was not a bad match.
It was not a bad match.
It wasn't a very long match either. I remember these guys were out of the ring pretty quickly actually, and they were throwing each other around. And I don't remember if they actually got any equipment from the outside to hit each other with. Or anything.
I think it was the bell.
The bell. Yeah.
It was the bell.
Yeah.
Gallows had the bell. He was about to hit one of the Usos with it, but it ended up being a win for the club.
For the club. Spoiler alert, I don't know if the club exists anymore.
We'll be getting to that later on Raw.
We'll talk a little bit about Raw. But next match, Rusev versus Kalisto for the United States Championship.
That was a disgusting match.
It was more of a single-sided match.
It was a single-sided. It was disgustingly extreme, I would say.
Like we talked about on last week's show, we don't really know if it should have been that kind of a matchup where you see a guy like Rusev who weighs about 300 pounds almost up against a guy like Kalisto who's maybe weighing $160. So you know what? I have to give it to Kalisto for actually putting in the effort. The guy, he has so much heart for a guy his size, man. And you can compare him to a guy like Rey Mysterio, and who knows? Maybe you're going to see one of these days. Kalisto holding that world heavyweight title belt, he's still young. This is barely his first year on the main roster.
He's barely 29 years of age.
He's young. He's a young guy, So you got to give him props for holding the U.S. title since the Royal Rumble, right? If I'm not correct, it was 160 some days.
Yes.
That he held the title, so very impressive. He's been beating guys like Alberto Del Rio. He's been feuding with the likes of Ryback, etc. So you got to give Kalisto props for holding the title as long as he did, and I hope that he gives Rusev a good rematch. Hopefully, whatever injuries or something that he comes back from. I think he's actually going to be fighting tonight on SmackDown for his
Kalisto.
rematch. Yes,
Kalisto should give it another.
Actually, both mid-card titles, the Intercontinental and the
IC Championship
and the U.S. title.
I think that Kalisto, they should give Kalisto some time to rest. That was a very hard match. It's like he snapped. You gotta admit, I hate to go back in the 90s, but Rusev snapped Kalisto like a Slim Jim. He slapped. You should have seen that was bended.
By the way, it was just kind of gruesome.
It was.
His move. What is it?
It's like the camel clutch.
I like to call it the Steiner recliner. I don't know why. The Steiner recliner.
And we should just call him the snap of the Slim Jim recliner. The guy just pretty much snapped him in half. His body was like bent in half. Just pretty much snapped like a twig.
So we've never seen Rusev snap a guy's neck back like he did with Kalisto. In other words,
and it just looked horrible.
Pretty gruesome, but like I said, hands off to Rusev for winning his second U.S. championship, and the guy's going to go a long way this year. Hopefully, you never know. Maybe we'll see him in the main title picture towards the end of the year. Maybe after maybe around Survivor Series.
We have no idea, but I
There's
think
too many top guys. Right
he's a good right now. He's a good mid-carder. I give it to you, man. The United States champion Rusev. Hey, I'd like to see WWE build him as champion again.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes, because if you remember correctly, I mean, last year or maybe the year before, I'm not too sure, but they were building him pretty big, man. I mean, as a
we might see another rivalry. We might see John Cena do another rivalry with Rusev.
I'm over the whole John Cena.
Well, John Cena's been 15-time WWE champion, so
like what, 5-time U.S. champion also.
5-time U.S. champion, but see, Cena, I heard out of respect, he doesn't want to pass Ric Flair's title reign. He wants to stick to 15.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that he can't tie it either. You know what I mean? Because passing it means that he has to win the title 17 times.
Yeah.
That means he has to win it one more time, lose it one more time, and then win it again. So, I mean, you know, there's speculation there. And the fact that, okay, if you really think about it, Ric Flair has only been a WWE champion one time, I think. 1 or 2 times in his career, technically.
You
have to look at the other titles that he did carry, which were the WCW and the NWA titles, and you really count that.
I would count that because technically WWE bought out WCW, and so when they buy out a company, it's grandfathered into the.
So you think that the accolades do count, then? I mean, I'm not. From Ric Flair. You know?
I mean, no,
he's a legend.
And I hate to be honest with you, and this NWA is a lot older than WWE.
It is actually
because NWA started in 1948.
Yeah. And
Buddy Rogers was an NWA before he became WWE champion back in 1963. Oh, hey, we're talking about a history lesson here. We still give Ric Flair credit. The WCW championship is originally the NWA championship. They just changed it because of Jim Crockett Promotions.
Yeah, they changed the name once Turner took over also, etc. So. Okay, well, nice little history lesson, Tony, but let's go forward here to the next match, the New Day versus the Vaudevillains for the WWE Tag Team Championships.
And who are the victors?
New
Day Rocks. New Day Rocks.
You gotta do it like Jay.
Because they are the WWE Tag Team Champions.
Great. So,
yeah.
Going strong, 260 plus days and counting since SummerSlam last year, I want to say.
Boy, they're about 100 days away.
I don't remember there being a stipulation in this match being Extreme Rules. Was there? I think it was just a regular tag team match, right? Versus the Vaudevillains.
I believe so.
I don't think there was a stipulation, but regardless of the outcome, the New Day always has that one factor. And what was that one contributing factor? The reason why the New Day won. Xavier Woods, Mr. Trombone.
This guy was like he's the mascot for the company.
But you know what? I mean, you have to give Xavier Woods props. He's the guy that's actually helping. Kofi Kingston and Biggie Langston continue to be champion, match after match after match. And I don't know how they do it to get so much credit, I guess, you know what I mean? But it's really weird though, because if you go back to the roster and if you go check on the WWE Network or just WWE.com, they have on his career highlights on Xavier Woods that he is a WWE Tag Team Champion, and you go check Big E and Kofi, current WWE champion, even Xavier Woods. So it's like, are they sharing the championship together? I think they're all sharing it.
I thought Xavier is like the manager.
He's the manager, but at the same time, I think he's actually filled in as part tag champion when either Big E or Kofi was out for whatever reason.
It's just weird. I just don't understand that.
Yeah, I mean, regardless,
they should just make it a 6-man tag team.
All I can tell you for this match is the Vaudevillains gave it their all. You had to give Simon Gotch and Aiden English big props for stepping up in in spite of Enzo and Enzo getting hurt first of all, and they stepped it up, man. I think the match was very good tag match, considering, like I said, there was no stipulations. And it was very physical, and they literally had a couple of near falls where they honestly could have been champion, man. Definitely at that point. So these guys are coming from NXT. This is what they're. Pretty first big match coming in as soon as they debuted, which was after WrestleMania. So big props to those guys. I hope to see a lot of big things from those two.
But what's the next match?
Next match was actually my favorite match of the night. which was the Fatal 4-Way Intercontinental title match.
That was a good match, and guess who ended up prevailing once again? The Miz.
The Miz. Mizzos.
I mean, it was like you said earlier when we were talking about the Fatal 4-Way, a lot of near-fall matches.
To be honest, I mean, at one point, and this is, I mean, you had Cesaro doing so many uppercuts during the match, and you're just like, wow. There's a couple pinfalls where you're like, man, Cesaro should have been champion, I think. And then you had a couple times where, you know, Sami Zayn pulls off the Helluva Kick. He does it like 2 or 3 times also. He should have been champion. And then vice versa, you know, you had Kevin Owens who pulled off, I don't know, the public powerbomb maybe once or twice throughout the match. I don't recall him doing it as much as the other guys did. But, you know, KO and The Miz both got in their shots as well during the match. And it was pretty, I want to say pretty evenly matched for everyone in that match. I mean, it was probably one of the most exciting.
It was very suspenseful because you didn't know who was going to be champion. It was going to be either way, and I thought Cesaro was going to get his, but I think they're just going to build it up. They just want to let it brew.
Dude, I mean, honestly, I was pushing for Cesaro there, and at the end, you thought Sami Zayn would have had it actually.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, honestly, I think KO was probably the one that was the most least likely to win this match. I hate to say it, right? I feel like during the entire match, I didn't feel like KO was going to win this match at all.
I did not expect it either.
But The Miz, I could kind of tell that he was going to, like, you know, either get close to or definitely, and he won the match, obviously, right? But, you know, he's smart. You know, the guy's been in the business for, 10 plus years already. And he knows when and how to get that pinfall victory, and he knows how to take advantage.
It's all strategy.
It's all strategy.
I mean,
you know, we can talk about ring psychology all day, Tony, if you want.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But if you think about it, The Miz, you know, he wasn't very heavily involved in the matches the other guys were. He was kind of just taking a step back and letting everyone, you know, else do it. And he did it. He does it a lot. If you guys notice, he did it at the Royal Rumble this past year also, where he lasted a long time, and he was kind of just there in the corner of the ring, just kind of, you know, playing it out until he was like one of the last 3 or 4 guys, and then boom, you know, he eventually gets eliminated. But, you know, this match, you know, he's going in as the champ, and he left as the champ. So yeah, you know what? I hate to say it, but I actually like The Miz as the Intercontinental Champion right now. And I think people don't give The Miz enough credit, to be honest, because the guy has been at the top of the mountain. Before, and he's you know what? I think he's probably the next guy in line to pass Chris Jericho for Intercontinental title reigns.
He hasn't been Intercontinental Championship that much.
5 times, no? 4 or 5 times.
5 times, but
5 times.
Jericho was 9-time Intercontinental Champion.
Who else is close up there with The Miz besides Kofi? And I know recently retired, or he recently left the company, Stu Bennett, which is King Barrett, basically.
I think he was 4-time Intercontinental Champion.
4 or 5 times. And who else? Kofi Kingston, I know, has held the title 4 times, 4 or 5 times, I want to say also. And who's the closest guy next to him that's an active roster member right now? Nobody, I don't think.
No.
Rob Van Dam, I think, had it 6 or 7 times also. So you have to look at The Miz. He's still young. He's still in good shape. Injuries have not plagued his career, as far as I know. I don't think he has.
I think Randy Orton's been an Intercontinental Champion one time.
Twice,
one time. It was one time.
Yeah, before he became champ, and we know how many times Randy Orton's been heavyweight champion. So
we got a lot of good mid card.
Right now, I think the mid card is a little more exciting than the heavyweight title picture for me right now, at least, because there's just so many guys, especially a lot of these new guys. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Cesaro's been there a while, and you know he's defined himself as
he's a former U.S. champion and a tag
champion. So it's technically the only title that Cesaro hasn't held is the world title. Yeah. But he's basically held all the other ones. Same thing with guys like Kofi. Sami Zayn and KO still have to. You know,
Kofi's got them all except the big one.
For the big one, yeah. Kofi's been every single and tag champion except for the world title. So you know
who's never been Intercontinental Champion? Jack Swagger. I think Jack Swagger's been. He's been U.S.
He's been tag, and he's been world champion.
Yeah, world
that's
champion.
Right. That's all he needs, man. Why don't we see Jack Swagger in that picture? You know, I don't know. I know they're using him for house shows, etc. But you know, we can definitely, hopefully, maybe see Jack Swagger in the picture one of these days. But anyway, going forward, we got a little sidetracked there. But Fatal 4-Way was one of my favorite matches. But let's go on to maybe Tony's favorite match. I'm not sure if it is or not, but the Asylum.
It was my favorite match.
Dean Ambrose versus Chris Jericho. Man, highlights of that match, Tony. What are your favorite parts of that match?
The creme de la creme. the thumbtacks.
Oh yes.
I mean,
very exciting.
I loved it. I mean, you think about it. You got Chris Jericho. This guy's a legend in the business. I still love that guy, whether he's a heel or face. He knows how to put up a good show. And this guy took a really bad bump when he got hit with those tacks. You should have seen his face. I mean, you knew what he was getting. He knew what he was getting himself in for.
I mean, it was bad. I mean,
Dean Ambrose did a great job with Jericho. Jericho, pretty much put Dean Ambrose over.
Big time.
And he wanted to get it. He didn't want to do it.
Deserves it though.
He deserves to get the win. Yeah,
to get that win, man. After all the stuff that he's been through over the past year in the company,
he's always about an inch away. He was always an inch away of getting the big one. So him facing Jericho must have been an honor. I mean, I bet you Mick Foley. I bet you Mick Foley, Abyss, Terry Funk, Sabu, any of these legendary hardcore wrestlers. I think they love the fact that tacks were involved in the match. I mean, it reminded me of a little bit of a Hell in a Cell back in the day.
Because they painted the cage black. This time it wasn't your typical cage. I mean, and it looked a little different.
I know it looked a little different. It looked like not Hell in a Cell, like an elimination chamber kind of color.
Something like that. It looked a little more hardcore. It looked a little more dark.
I mean,
and that was the purpose.
And I knew for some odd reason when Jericho was going to hit Ambrose with the code breaker, you knew that Ambrose was setting those tacks up for that. You knew they were going to do it, and they sold pretty well.
They sold it, man. They sold the suspense on that, by the way.
I loved it.
My favorite part of the match was when he busted out the mop, man. I was like, this is just too hilarious, and I think the mop was actually a little wet, so you could actually tell that. And who knows where they got the mop from? They might have just stolen it. It could have been a new mop, could have been an old mop.
It was genius where they started the whole thing, and like, what was the purpose of the escape from the cage? It's really there's no one's gonna win.
Yeah, you can't escape. Even if you escape, you can't win. So no matter what, if Jericho would have jumped over, the top of the cage and got out, it was, the only way you can win in that match is by a pinfall or submission.
I hope Jericho got a tetanus shot.
I mean, probably both of them had to get it before the actual match because, I mean, when you're landing on, 70-plus tacks like he did.
He had over 70 tacks.
It was not a light landing either. I don't know if, you've seen, guys like Mick Foley take falls from the cell, landing on tacks, The Undertaker tombstoning him or, power slamming him through those tacks, but this bump that Chris Jericho took, it was really hard.
It was hard. It was raw. It was at the corner of the ring.
Yeah.
So you got the corner of the ring. That's the most hardest surface in the ring. The corner of the ring. Yeah. The tacks. He's bare back. Mick Foley, when he got hit with tacks, he had a shirt.
He probably had something.
He had some kind of padding.
Not that it would have helped that much.
Well, extra fat.
Extra a little bit of extra,
but Jericho, he's kind of got a lean side. I know he's a little loose around the midsection, but he was bare back, man, bare back. So that must have felt kind of raw. And then him landing on his back, you got 200 pounds falling on your back. That's like brute force from Ambrose. Man, what are you doing?
I'm just taking a quick snap of you, Tony.
Oh, man.
Yeah, don't worry, brother.
But anyhow, and you could hear him screaming, the agonizing pain. You knew that didn't.
You can tell right from the get-go, first of all, that Jericho did not want to be in this match. He was asking the refs to open the cage immediately when the match started because he knew that it wasn't going to be fun. And you know what? We really haven't seen Chris Jericho in this type of match in a long, long time. Probably not since Elimination Chamber. But, I mean, I think Jericho sold being so scared. I mean, and Ambrose had it the entire time. You can tell. I mean,
oh, yeah.
Jericho got his punches in, though. You have to give Jericho props for, pulling off moves like the Lion Salt in matches like this, especially when it counted, basically. I mean, when you knew it was going to hurt Ambrose, basically.
I give Jericho a lot of props, high respect for him, man. I've been watching Jericho since I was
we were kids, man.
So we're little kids, man. Mid-90s when he was in ECW, WCW. Yeah. So, dude, this guy could be anybody. He could be a heel or a face, and I still like him.
Oh yeah.
Next match.
Great match, by the way. I mean, I can't say. There's just too many good things to say about that match. Yeah. But before we go on. I just want to give the people here listening at the station a friendly reminder. Or do you want to do that, Tony, on how to listen?
Give us a friendly reminder. Give you guys a friendly reminder, I'm sorry, to 97.7 FM, thecity.com, or you can even reach us on our Facebook link. If you go under Armbar and go to...
It's going to be facebook.com/UTPA Armbar.
There you go.
I need to change that, and I need to change it to just Armbar, but if you're searching us on Facebook, just type in Armbar in caps, and we're probably going to pop up. What else, Tony? You know what?
You go to youtube.com, and you can type Armbar, KCYP. You'll find our big logo. It looks like the Run DMC logo. You click on that. You can see us live. We can put the name of the episode, the number of the episode.
Yeah, usually we'll put the dates, and if we're live, we'll actually tell you if we're live. So look at that. What else? I think there's one more way of listening.
Twitter?
Well, Twitter is another social media page that we do post on, but if you have if you have access to a smartphone, you can download the free TuneIn Radio app. And from there, all you have to do is just search the key handle KCYP, and you can look for the station. It'll say Mission/McAllen, and from there you can actually listen to our show if you're not listening to us live on the radio. So next match. Let's talk about the next match.
What is the next match?
Hold on, let me
is it
pop
the
up the page. Hold on, no, I don't know. Hold on, that's Raw results. Give me a second. Next match, yes, it's actually Natalya versus Charlotte for the women's championship.
This one was, I was not very pleased with this match. It was I agree. It was a big downer to me.
Yes.
I call this the biggest throwaway match.
I feel very bad
women's
for
WWE
both
history.
Natalya and Charlotte at this point, given that it is the second to last match of the night. What do you think?
I believe so, because you know what? I thought you could so tell Natalya put Charlotte over. She put her over big time.
Again
and again. So I don't know what's going to happen. So they're not going to build her as champion. She's probably going to end up leaving the company to be with her husband, which I can understand.
Yeah.
But okay, so I thought during the end close of the match, Ric Flair's music comes out, but it ended up being, what's her face?
Dana Brooks.
In Ric Flair's outfit. So all of a sudden it was a hoax. And Natalya gets distracted and gets hit with the figure four, and then she ends up tapping out. She did put up a good fight, but Charlotte was the victor in this one.
I mean, if you look at it like the way I saw it, Natalya had the entire match. I think if it wasn't for that distraction, that it would have went down another way, obviously, and the fact that Charlotte keeps using people to keep winning matches is just continuing to make her look weak. Obviously, she's the daughter of the dirtiest player in the game. But at the same time, you have to look at what she's done without her dad and without any help to begin with. When she was coming up in NXT, she's basically been a product of the WWE developmental system. Definitely. So you have to look at it. She didn't have an independent career. She grew up in the business, obviously. So she has the athleticism. She has the talent, the mentality. The talent obviously is there. So I mean, at the same time, does she need to be doing stuff like this? And this is what happened with Becky Lynch. Sasha Banks probably has questioned it also, and now Natalya is the one saying, "Why do you need to win this way? Why if you're so talented, like we know that she is, because we've seen her perform." Then why is she having to do this? So I mean, at the end of the day, we'll talk about it a little more because of Raw.
Yeah, there's going to be some fuzzy feedback.
We got about 5 minutes, so let's talk about the main event: Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles Part 2, basically.
By the way, this one actually was pretty good. I think it was better than WrestleMania.
Oh, dude, no, hold on.
Or
the last match, which was Payback, right?
It was better than
dude, honestly, man, it's hard to tell whether this match was better than
this
Payback match.
It could have gone either way in this one, because this one had a lot of damage, a lot of heat. And and you know what? Love him or hate him, Roman Reigns did a great job.
Very physical match. So physical.
The way he was carrying, they were both carrying each other well. They were making each other look really good. And then all of a sudden later on, the club starts to arrive and starts to help help AJ. And AJ, he said, I can win it without you guys, but they still went in. And the Usos came and they helped out. And man, the power bombs through the tables, the
Styles
clash twice. Hit him with a chair multiple times. I mean,
it was just like, wow. Like, honestly, I thought that AJ Styles had this at one point. Honestly, the interference between Luke Gallows and the Usos was not necessary in this match at all. I mean, and you think about it, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson actually did put their finisher move on Roman Reigns, and that's because AJ Styles attempted to get the pin afterwards, and he still couldn't do it.
He couldn't do it. So now, and then that spear. I mean, he hits him. He hits him with a flying. Tried to hit him with a flying forearm. I take it, and then
elbow,
that big
phenomenal forearm.
He hits him with that big spear, and that was like the cherry on top of the cake, man. That was awesome.
It's tough to see. And maybe it's not as impactful as it looks when you see it at full speed. But when Roman Reigns has to jump that high to spear someone, and when AJ Styles is coming at you and accelerating at just as fast at the rate, and I'm going to use physics here as an example, it's going to hurt when you're landing. And
gosh.
Reigns only had to pull the spear off once to get this victory. He didn't do it any other times. He pulled off so many other moves, though, like you said, power bombs. He did the Superman punch probably a million times.
Yeah.
And he was just pushing. He slammed AJ Styles to the table. Do you remember that? That was so impactful, man.
I know.
That was such a nasty powerbomb through the table. I was like, man.
I'm amazed. I'm amazed with these heavyweight warriors. I mean, these guys.
That's because, if you look at it, Styles is more of a cruiserweight. He's not a heavyweight.
Yeah,
I just saw a heavyweight.
Yeah. 160-pound heavyweight.
160-pound heavyweight over here, yeah.
But,
sorry, we saw something that we probably shouldn't see. Something that's non-PG over here.
Let's just say it's
that's a little reminiscent of the Attitude Era.
Yes.
Yeah. So going back, we got about a minute. Tony, final thoughts on this this match here before we call those beautiful letters.
I gotta tell you, you know what? You guys keep booing Roman Reigns. That's fine. I think he did a hell of a job with that spear. I mean, this was putting Roman Reigns to the test on his career and how he can hold himself as a champion. And then what happens at the end after he wins this title?
Oh, man.
Guess who came back?
Man, dude, this is probably one of the biggest highlights of the night.
Oh, man. It was the CrossFit Jesus himself. Seth Rollins, the architect. The guy is finally back. He looked pretty good too with all that.
Big,
definitely.
His arms looked like they were super cut, etc.
So he looked great. Looks healthy. So that's what happened after the pay-per-view. He held the title high, and he has a rematch clause because he did not lose to the title. He had to drop the title because of his injury back in Germany when he was facing Kane. So, yeah, he had a torn ACL.
Torn ACL, man.
Yeah.
Everything came split right off the bone, actually, from what I saw. But, all right, Tony, let's go ahead and I'm going to cut you off really quick. We'll talk about that little ending right now when we come back. But here we go. We're going to call those beautiful letters for all of y'all that are listening here on the station. Tony, you want to call those letters?
KCYPLP, Mission McAllen.
Okay, and we are back. This is 97.7 FM, The City, and you are listening to Armbar Radio here with Mike the Business and Tony the Machine Matuk. If you guys are first-time listeners, this is a wrestling radio talk show that they allow us to do here at the station, so we want to give major props to Chris and Joe for allowing us to continue building a fan base with your station. Thank you guys very much here at the station, KCYP. Don't forget, we have other radio shows here at the station. We have the Geek Slap, and every Tuesday and Thursday they have free radio classes for children from the age, I think, 16 to 18, for people that want to get into radio, people that want to learn about radio, etc. So if you guys are interested and you have kids, every Tuesday and Thursday between 6:30 and 8:30, at the McAllen Creative Incubator on South Main Street, McAllen, where the old library used to be. You guys are able to bring your kids, enjoy some good learning, and then you actually get to maybe hear them live on the radio here at the station. So going back to the main event there when Rollins returned, man, it was probably one of the biggest fan reactions of the year, besides maybe Shane McMahon returning of the year, man. This was big, I think. And the fact that Seth Rollins was able to come back from an injury in such a little amount of time. I mean, the only guy that you could really compare him to coming back from an injury like that is Triple H.
Yeah.
And Triple H rehabbed an ACL surgery more than once. I think he did it twice.
You were right. It was, I think the second one was when he was with Shawn Michaels when they were at DX. He had to leave DX when it tore again. But
that was a shame, and Triple H is still wrestling to this day. So he's taking some time off now after WrestleMania. And if you think about it, he's still entitled to his rematch. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. But Rollins coming back after a big injury like that was just massive, and it's going to be a game changer for a lot of the top tier guys that here in the business, because he never lost that title. Look at it that way, okay? Reigns has basically just been holding him, and Sheamus are the only guys that have been, and Triple H, excuse me. Triple H has held the championship also. 3 guys have held that title since Rollins lost that championship back due to injury. So going forward, let's talk about Raw in the beginning of Raw. And who comes out at the beginning of Raw, Tony?
Here comes the money?
Well, no, I mean, Seth Rollins actually.
Seth Rollins, okay.
Yeah,
I missed that first half.
Dude, man, dude, it was big. The crowd was just so into Seth Rollins, just coming out and saying, "Welcome back, Seth," stuff like that. And they started doing the Yes channel, so they were like, "Yes, yes." Yes, they're doing the Yes channel.
And he was just eating it all up.
He was eating it all up, and he was enjoying it. But at the same time, right at the end, he was like, he finally gave his little heel turn, I would like to call it, because I think they still want Reigns to be the face in this little feud. Where he's like saying like, "Oh, you guys were all booing me last year, blah 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 blah. We were, are you guys joining the bandwagon now, basically?"
Well, he has to stay. He doesn't want to break kayfabe. I mean,
pretty much.
He knows that the fans love him, even though he's been gone.
Yeah.
But he has to stick to being a heel. If he breaks kayfabe, I mean, what's going to happen with the dialogue here? You know what I mean?
Just a quick thing. What does kayfabe mean?
Kayfabe. Kayfabe is when a wrestler has a character that they have to stick with. They cannot break character, whether they're feuding with somebody. Like whether it's a heel or a face, they have to do is they got to make sure they are against the person. They cannot be pairing together when they travel together. Whether they have to stick to on the show, they have to stick to being who they are, which is a heel. That's part of their character. They're assigned to be that way. So it means, in a wrestler's point of view, it's called character. If you go somewhere to to a gym, or they go somewhere to a local place like a hotel, and they're not supposed to be talking to each other like a villain and a face, they can't be seen together because they're feuding. So they have to stay within those terms. So that's what kayfabe means, pretty much character base. But also, when they're trying to put somebody over, whether it's the audience is cheering for the villain and the villain is eating up and he wants to be a good guy, he has to stick to being a villain. He has to keep saying negative stuff. He has to say whatever it takes to antagonize. And right now, it's not really working with Seth Rollins. They still love him. Ain't gonna work.
I think the fact is that he wasn't getting a lot of heat towards the end of his title reign, his first title reign, which he never really lost technically. If you think about it, he should be the champion, and Roman Reigns should be the interim champion right now technically. And now that he's back from injury, he was entitled to that rematch. So that was announced for the next pay-per-view, which is Money in the Bank, which is very telling because Seth Rollins won Money in the Bank 2 years ago to gain that title at WrestleMania 31.
Definitely.
When he pinned Roman Reigns. Was it Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns? I don't know.
He pinned Roman Reigns.
After one of those guys. So anywho, going forward from there, he held that title for a good 7-8 months until he got that injury, and then unfortunately over the past 7 months already, he's been rehabbing.
It's very impressive that he's back already.
Super impressive. All you can say. So Shane McMahon comes out, and Shane announces that he agrees with Seth Rollins, basically saying you get that title match, and that's going to happen at Money in the Bank. So this is coming off one of the best pay-per-views I've seen in a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this is so far, this whole new era thing is actually it's looking forward for me. I don't know, it's getting better and better, and I don't know if it's because of the new talent, the new storylines, but I mean, minus all the recent firings that have been going on. And I hate to say, Adam Rose is gone also.
They're making some spring cleaning here.
They're still continuing to spring clean, yeah, but anywho, Adam Rose is gone, and a few others like Damian Sandow. This is giving a lot of the newer talent opportunity. I hate to say it, but anywho, going forward, let's talk about what else happened here. Money in the Bank qualifying match. So we have there's gonna be 7 people in this year's Money in the Bank, I think. So the first qualifying match was Sami Zayn versus Sheamus, both redheads.
Sheamus loses.
Sheamus lost, actually. You're correct, and it wasn't a very big match. It wasn't a very long match, actually. I think Sami Zayn surprised everyone by pulling off the Helluva Kick very early on in the match, and he actually got the pin. It was Sheamus, don't take anything away from that guy whatsoever. They did talk about the fact that he was the winner of last year's Money in the Bank ladder match, and he did go on to win the title eventually from Roman Reigns. They
really didn't carry him that well. They didn't really build him that. They didn't build him.
Yeah, I think the fans hated it, and the fact that Roman Reigns kept at that time. I think they didn't want Roman Reigns champion, and then when they actually did make him champion again, it's just like the fans didn't want it anymore. So you have the people. I think I always tend to say, I think the internet ruins wrestling because there's so many rumors definitely. And so much backstage speculation going on. But so Sami Zayn gets the first, so very impressive. Sami Zayn came off that Intercontinental title match. So Sami Zayn essentially has a chance to get into that main title picture now, going into Money in the Bank here.
I still see him as a mid-carder for some odd reason. I mean,
never know,
there's 2 open spots right now.
Yeah, there were tonight on SmackDown, actually.
And it could be a rematch. It could be spoilers. This is my prediction. I could see AJ Styles having another chance versus Dolph Ziggler. I could see that. I'd like to see a match like that. Dolph Ziggler versus AJ Styles.
I'm going to talk about my AJ Styles prediction towards the end of our Raw recap here, actually, but only because I'm thinking about something else. But okay, go on forward here. So you want to continue talking about that?
So yes, after that, it was Ziggler versus Baron Corbin for the Money in the Bank, and Baron Corbin ends up winning the.
That's the other qualifying match.
Wait, I'm sorry. You skipped ahead. I skipped ahead. Yeah, my apologies.
Okay.
It's Dolph Ziggler.
No. It's a tag match actually. After that.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, we have the New Day that comes out to actually help celebrate Raw's 1200th episode. Which is the longest weekly episodic show in television history. You guys have to know this. Wrestling is the longest, and behind
it's beaten a lot of shows. WWE Raw has beaten Young and the Restless, not Young and the Restless, Guiding Light.
Yep.
All these TV sitcoms, WWE became on top. I mean, 1,200 episodes. Since 1993, Raw aired. That's 23 years it's been around. That's impressive.
Yeah, just about 23 years, about the early 90s. Since the early 90s, what, 92, 93?
No, it was 93. It
was 93, which is a good year, which is I think maybe a year before I started watching wrestling. So Raw wasn't too much in its infancy when I started watching wrestling as a kid. But hey, going back, so the New Day is out there trying to celebrate, and they're trying to throw cake in JBL's face and maybe Michael Cole's face to celebrate. But then you have the Social Outcasts who are still trying to make a name for themselves, and they come out and they ambush the New Day before the match actually starts. So after that, it cuts to commercial, and then finally, they get the match going, and I don't know what to think about the Social Outcasts.
I think they're going to break up again.
Think about it. You have, who else was a part of the Social Outcasts that recently got fired or left, got released? Adam Rose. So one guy down. It's just like just another guy.
It's just like 3MB. It just reminds me of 3MB.
Yep.
3MB. 2 of those guys got released. It was what? It was Jinder Mahal, and he's now in TNA. What's that guy? What's his name? Drew McIntyre. So now he's called what? Drew Gallows, or what is his name? Not Drew.
It's
Galloway. Drew Galloway.
I think it's Drew Galloway.
Yeah, Drew Galloway.
Galloway Drew or something like that.
So I mean, this guy, Drew Galloway, he ends up getting released also. So these factions are just breaking apart because of the WWE release. But Adam Rose gets released because due to domestic violence. WWE has a zero tolerance policy on domestic violence, and he was already suspended in the first place for failing the wellness.
Not a big surprise what happened actually. So I mean, just I think the New Day,
they won, right? Did they win?
I think they got the pin. I mean, it was a pretty close match, but the New Day ends up getting the victory. And like I said, same thing happened at the pay-per-view, basically, where Xavier Woods is always that contributing factor to the wins and losses of this team. And he's been the guy for them, honestly. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not taking anything away from Kofi or Biggie, but Xavier Woods is the reason why these other two guys are still.
He's selling it. I mean, he's selling. Yeah, he's advertised. Do whatever it takes.
So after they win, they celebrate in the ring, and they are still your
WWE Tag Team Champions.
Okay. Let's go on to the next match. You got the other Money in the Bank qualifying match, which was not Ziggler. It was actually Cesaro versus The Miz, actually.
Oh, yes.
So, you have your mid-carders, and a lot of these guys are actually, fighting to get into that made spot position, which is the world title position now. And Miz being the Intercontinental Champion, you think that he would have won that match coming from that big win at Extreme Rules. But what happens?
Cesaro gets the upper hand.
Gets the win, yeah.
Well, if you think about it, he's the IC champion, so he's going to push his championship. Why didn't WWE make a Money in the Bank Intercontinental Championship? Give these mid-carders a...
I think it was more exciting when they had both World Heavyweight titles. When they had the brand split, I think it was a little more exciting because they actually had two matches. They had usually one at the beginning of the show and then one during the mid portion of the show. So... I don't take anything away from the mid carders. I don't think they deserve it. I mean, they could always have a battle royale or another qualifying match for for that title, because I don't think they all should end up in ladder matches. This isn't a match specifically set. A Chris Jericho created match, just like the Elimination Chamber, right?
He created no. Eric Bischoff created the Elimination Chamber. Chris Jericho created the Money in the Bank.
Well, regardless, Chris Jericho actually is going to be in his first or second Money in the Bank ladder match.
And right now he's 45 years old.
45 years old. So okay, but I don't want to give you all spoilers, but Chris Jericho actually qualified to get into this match as well. I want to say, and let's just skip the whole Cesaro Miz thing. Decent match. Cesaro put him in the Cesaro swing, and he just took him out pretty easily. I'm sorry to say, but Cesaro should probably be the Intercontinental Champion right now.
Definitely.
If everyone except The Miz should be the Intercontinental Champion right now. But like I said, The Miz somehow pulled it off last night at the other night Extreme Rules. So the next qualifying match would actually be Chris Jericho versus Apollo Crews, and Apollo Crews is a relatively new character. What happens to Apollo Crews prior to the match, though? He
gets taken out by Sheamus.
So let's not consider that a contributing factor to him losing. I don't think it was. I don't think Sheamus took him out that bad. I mean, you have to give Chris Jericho props for him getting into the ring after a night.
I could just, I don't know, for some reason I have this sick feeling that I think it's going to be Apollo Crews versus Sheamus at a pre-show. I don't know why. Yeah,
and you know what? It kind of, I hate to say, but it kind of stinks for Apollo Crews right now, because I think after his NXT push, which he had his NXT title match shot, and he feuded with guys like Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, and other top notch guys out there, and he proved that he can compete with them in the ring. But I think he's still struggling cutting promos, and I don't know if that's playing a contributing factor right now. I just feel like they keep cutting him off. What do you think, Tony?
Well, he has a problem with promos. He can't talk. He has a hard time talking.
I think it's just nerves, but I mean, I don't follow his independent, career. Unfortunately, I wish Isaac and Jay were here to, follow up on that.
Yeah.
But I mean, he had to have been big in his independent career to be where he is now.
He had to be, but his promos need work. I mean, even Scott Hall himself was actually training the NXT wrestlers, and he actually had his eye on Apollo Crews. He was actually helping Apollo Crews, critiquing him on
I honestly
his
think
promos.
Apollo Crews is top notch. He's top tier, to be honest.
He's very innovative. I mean, the guy can do gorilla presses and then followed by a standing moonsault.
You don't see a lot of guys his size be as aerial and athletic with his athletic.
And he's not that big. He's not that big. He's what,
240, 245 max maybe.
Barely 6 foot at the nose.
Yeah, he's not that big, but he's got a lot of athleticism and he's definitely got a lot to prove.
Yeah,
I think, and I hate to always mention race as being a contributing factor for a guy as talented as Apollo Crews, but I hope that's never the factor for him. Okay. But I mean, he did lose the match to Chris Jericho. He put Chris Jericho over. Jericho, puts him in the code breaker towards the end of that match. Apollo Crews definitely hurting from that ambush that Sheamus gave to him. But like Tony said, this could probably be a potential pre-show match. But you know what? The good thing about that is they're not leaving him out. If that potentially does happen, they're not going to at least be a part of that. Because I don't even think he was a part of Extreme Rules, was he?
No, he didn't participate in Extreme Rules.
So, you have to give guys like him, Jack Swagger, other mid-carders, and I mean, we can talk about a big release that went on over the weekend after we finished the Raw recap. And, I'm going to save that for the end. This is something I do want to talk about. But, Adam Rose was not the only guy they got released during the weekend.
Many.
But yeah, we'll talk about that, a little later. So, Chris Jericho gets that win, and let's talk about Big Cass versus Bubba Ray Dudley. Another Dudley match versus Big Cass, and Big Cass is trying to.
I have a feeling that WWE wants to push Big Cass as a singles competitor because this guy, for being 7 feet tall, he's very agile. He's not so heavy.
Yep.
He's just a stick. He's tall, but he's
got that big boot, man.
He's got that big boot. I like the finishing maneuver he does. It looks like a tilt-a-whirl.
Something, but slam. It's not a power slam. Man.
It looks to me. I would call it a tilt-a-whirl Uranagi slam. I think
I like that word. Uranagi.
Uranagi is almost like the rock bottom, but he turns into a sit-out slam. But he's very strong. I mean, he wrestled Bubba Ray. There was Bubba Ray. Was Bubba Ray fought?
It was Bubba Ray Dudley, actually.
He defeated him.
And you know what? Bubba Ray was actually trying to throw his weight around, but Big Cass scared Bubba Ray Dudley, in my opinion.
Definitely.
You don't see a lot because Bubba Ray's not a small guy to any means necessarily.
He's 6'2", close to 300 pounds.
Probably like 290, probably a 300-pounder.
Yeah.
But when a guy like Big Cass can throw, he's probably lighter than Bubba Ray, but
he's about 270.
When he could intimidate a guy like Bubba Ray Dudley, that says something about him. And you got to give Enzo props for coming back from his injury.
Oh yeah,
he came out and the fans were just, he was very, he was at his ringside. He was at Big Cass's ringside.
Great promo, by the way.
Yeah, he cut a great promo, and we'll talk about another promo coming up. But he won that match. He got him he did the big boot, and then he calls his move the Empire. He pinned him with what he called the Empire Elbow. Okay, I don't know if that's the same move that he normally does. I know what move you're talking about, there, Tony. But basically, he won that match, and hopefully we get to see bigger and better things from Big Cass as along in his career.
Most definitely.
I would love to see him versus Rusev. I would love to see where that would go.
I could see that would be a good
match because right now that Rusev, he's going to get that rematch versus Kalisto, but is Kalisto really going to continue moving on forward, or is it?
I don't know, man. We'll see. I mean, they're gonna build him as champion.
Hopefully, they have another tournament. I think they should do another tournament so you could be the #1 contender. But anywho, next promo, which was Charlotte Flair, which is the State of the Union Women's Championship.
This was agonizing.
This is hard to watch if you are a Ric Flair fan.
Yes. So here comes Charlotte, Ric Flair, and Dana Brooke. Right, Mike? That's her name.
Dana Brooke. Yes.
Yeah. So the music hits, and they're walking each other to the ring, and they're doing some Ric Flair, struts, And so once they get in the ring, Charlotte opens her address how she won the championship, and all of a sudden.
Pipe bomb.
Yeah,
on her dad.
On her own father. Yes. The tables turned. So she really laid out a really good heel promo. I mean, she gave all the heels out there are run for her money of being a heel. She told her father off. She told her how she was a little girl for 30 years ago, like she's always watching her father on TV for the best nearly 30 years of her life, that her mom, and telling her that he was never there for me, blah, blah, blah. And then she's claiming that she's the original dirtiest player of the game, and she boots her father out of the ring.
Poor Flair, by the way.
Poor Flair, and he was crying his eyes out. I mean, he loves his daughter. And you know what? And I hate to say it because you know in real life that Charlotte loves her father.
Yeah.
This must have took a lot out of her to throw this pipe bomb. I mean, just to throw this promo. This was like the most agonizing promo. Right up with Austin 316 promo when Austin like told off Jake the Snake Roberts, King of the Ring, back in '96. Remember that? The formation of Austin 316?
Yeah.
Was she really like put the nail on the head?
She put the nail on the coffin.
I mean, that really hurt. I mean, this made fans go nuts. Like,
I mean, this is a guy that cried when his daughter won her first NXT Women's Championship, and then the same thing when she won the Divas title. He was in the ring crying.
Yes, so
celebrating with her, and the emotions were there. And Ric Flair is one of the biggest. I mean, the biggest emotional in-ring guys that you can probably compete with on a on the physical level, on an emotional level, etc.
Definitely. So
man, it was
a very tough to see, and it's very tough for Charlotte to actually lay that promo out. I mean, especially her as a heel, that is like, golly, like she's preparing the address. I mean, can you imagine just Vince McMahon just telling, okay, I want you to do the biggest heelish promo by booting your father out of the thing, and it's like you're saying, are you kidding me? I'm gonna boot the person that helped me get embedded to this business, help me become champion. You want me to do it? And man,
that was tough.
It must have been tough for her to do it, and you could tell on the body language that Charlotte didn't want to do that. I could tell she's like, why am I doing this? She says, I can't believe I'm saying this to my own father.
Yeah.
She looked like, you could tell that she didn't want to do it. You could tell by the body language, the way she was looking at her father, because she didn't want to look at her dad. She's like, I can't believe I'm watching my dad cry. Like, and she's mocking her father crying, but she did it anyway. And boy, people were just disgusted. Even JBL himself. JBL, he's the biggest heel commentator of all things, and he broke kayfabe.
He did.
He broke kayfabe. He actually was like, out of all of the things that the most disgusting, despicable things a heel has done in the industry, he actually finally took it into consideration what she did.
Feeling of Ric Flair.
Feeling of Ric Flair.
Fan, by the way.
Yeah, but still, I mean,
it's tough.
It was so tough. But very heated moment, Flair, he leaves the arena. Anyway, next thing.
Yeah, we got 2 more matches to talk about before I talk about we got 5 minutes actually, so I kind of want to just give you winners and losers here. Another Money in the Bank qualifying match, which was Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler. I mean, Ambrose is going to get this win no matter what. I feel bad for Dolph Ziggler, but we'll get into that next week. And then your last match, which was Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles.
Oh, man.
And Kevin Owens gets the win, which is a big one for Kevin Owens. And it's kind of sad because now you're kind of starting to see AJ Styles out of the title picture, even though he had 2 chances.
Yeah.
So going from there, I want to talk about what I think that's going to happen with AJ Styles. Okay. So AJ Styles, I don't think he's going to be even included in this mid-card picture when it comes to when it comes to any championships. But I do think that Finn Balor is going to make his arrival very soon. And if you watched Raw, you're going to know that the Bullet Club basically broke up. So
no, I don't think they did entirely.
The current club.
No, I don't think they did. The reason being is because, okay, so AJ Styles, and then they are not leaving in good terms. But Finn Balor could be the new leader of the Bullet Club.
That's what
and I can see a rivalry, the Bullet Club versus AJ Styles.
Yep, exactly.
So when they had those two heated moments and they were talking to each other, you knew automatically there's going to be some heat. So I'm glad that WWE's pushing that direction.
Yeah.
So
it's going to happen.
He'll be a mid-carder soon.
I think he's going to debut at Money in the Bank, if I'm not correct. I think that's when it's going to happen. But okay, so let's skip ahead here. I didn't want to talk about that. We have about 3 minutes going on here. So I want to talk about the release that happened during the weekend. Who asked for their release? And this was pretty big.
Cody Rhodes, of all people.
Cody Rhodes.
Or you could say AKA Stardust.
Stardust, yeah. This is it was kind of a shock, actually, in my opinion. Let's get your thoughts, Tony, and then we'll close it out with my thoughts here.
It's like, okay, I could understand that Cody Rhodes had a really weird career during the WWE. I mean, he's been like many characters. I mean, I think ever since his father passed away, I think the directions are just going to a downward spiral. I mean, his dad revolutionized NXT.
He was one of the pioneers.
He was one of the pioneers of the business. I mean, if you put him to Cody Rhodes, I figured he would like carry his father's legacy instead of being Goldust's carbon copy. I mean, Stardust of all things. I mean, he could have done many things. He could have at least wore like the polka dotted shorts or trunks, or maybe some black trunks and some white cowboy boots and some spurs and a cowboy hat and a lasso, like old school Dusty Rhodes or something like that.
Well, I don't know if that would have worked in today's modern era.
I know
with the whole cowboy thing, but I mean, you never know.
Something different, but. And then Cody Rhodes' wife recently.
Yeah, Eden Rhodes or Eden Reynolds. Eden Reynolds. But I'm sorry to cut you off, Tom. We got a couple minutes.
Yeah, sorry about that.
But I mean, it's just very shocking, and I want to give thanks to Cody Rhodes. Obviously, WWE creative didn't want to go in the direction that he wanted to go in, and this is the reason why he asked for his release, because rumor has it, and he announced it. He made a statement saying that he originally wanted to go back to his Cody Rhodes character, and WWE creative did not want to let him do it. Vince didn't want to let him do it, apparently.
Oh.
So, this is why great stars, people that should be up there, people that should have been multiple-time champion are not selling because of, and this is something I think we should probably talk about on the next episode of Armbar, because we got about a minute left, so I want to close this out, but it's just very sad and disheartening to see, he came from basically being a small, twiggy guy, to being one of the, top mid-carders. And eventually, at one point, he was almost at that top-tier level of wrestler. He was a good in-ring performer, man.
Definitely.
When his brother was there, boom. Like, I think he was, when him and his brother were tag champions, it was something to see, and, when they separated, even then, you expected something bigger from Cody at the time. And now it's just, the guy asked for his release, and I guess, all I can say is let's just wish him the best of luck. So, closing shout-outs, Tony.
I want to give a close-out shout-out to my wife. I love you, honey. Happy anniversary, 9 years. We did it. Shout-out to Isaac, Jay, Chris, one of my biggest fans at HEB. Hey, what's up, Chris Martinez? No gloves, brother. No gloves.
All righty. And just me, I want to give a special shout-out to my parents always. Love you, Mom and Dad. All my HEB crew. Tony, of course, here with me. Isaac and Jay, our missing counterparts. And the Armbar universe out there. So give you all a big shout-out. So let's go ahead and do our final saying. All right. Do you remember, Tony? I know.
Yes, I do.
All right. So you want to start me off?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Hard work pays off.
Dreams come true.
Bad times don't last,
but bad
guys do. No gloves,
baby. Thank you all for listening. This is 97.7 FM The City, and you are listening to Armbar. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
All right, that's it.
You don't want to do the extended hour?
No, dude, I gotta go. But just you can give. We got one viewer. It's probably just Liza. we only have one viewer going. Any final comments though before we before you finish off? Anything that
Kane is running for office.
For U.S. Senate, yeah, that's what I heard.
It's going to be for Knoxville, Tennessee. He also owns an insurance agency called the Jacobs Insurance Agency.
He's a multi-millionaire.
So he owns
One of the smartest guys in the business.
Yes, he is. Very biggest brains. Former school teacher. So his wife and him own an agency. They sell life insurance, home insurance, car insurance, and I believe. Car insurance. Pretty much all the insurances. So I think he even endorses his. I bet you WWE endorses his insurance as well. But it's out of Knoxville, Tennessee. That's where his hometown is, and I think he's going to be independent. I think because I heard he's a libertarian. So
he's not. Yeah, he's not like a Republican or Democrat.
No, he's none of those.
There's more parties out there. I don't pay attention to any of that though. Unfortunately, I'm not huge on politics. But if I'm going to be Democrat all the way because I want benefits. I want my food stamps. Okay.
All those conservatives out there, sorry about that, but hey, I don't give a crap about being Republican or Democrat. All I am is I'm proud of being American. That's all that matters. I mean, whatever we can do to find the right president, I don't care. I mean, to me, it's just
one thing I am upset about is Eden leaving the WWE also. No gloves to her. Cody gets to no glove it every night with Eden. So
definitely. Twice on Sunday,
right? If you want to.
I mean, if you think about it.
Is that Obama on the TV? I'm sorry. We're watching a basketball game here also.
Yeah. My wife is giving me some weird
over here.
Look here. Oh, man. She flips me the bird. Okay, nice. But, boy, I've had 9 years. I'm going to be married to that beautiful lady out there. She's looking at me like she wants to.
She wants to give you a big hug. That's what she wants to hug it out. Hug it out. We have 0 viewers. You were our only viewer at the time, right? That's all right. We don't usually do the Armbar on Tuesday, but I guess any final comments, Tony, before we go, before the YouTube Nation?
Oh man, it's just a damn shame about the fact that
Cody Rhodes.
A lot of people getting released. It's
a shame.
It is a shame. I mean, you got and then I heard some health updates. George the Animal Steel is not doing so well, and then these stupid people from Facebook giving death hoax of wrestlers. I'm getting really fed up with that Enzo Underground guy, whoever you are on Facebook. Knock it off and stop. I mean, stop it for crying out loud and stop putting death hoax these wrestlers, man. You really want to get hate mail? You want people to look for you? Cut it out. I mean, seriously. Aren't you sick of that crap? Someone putting like fake death.
It's immature.
Oh, it's just immature. Grow up, dude. For real. I mean, golly. I mean, the guy is dying. He's not dead yet. So stop pulling this kind of crap to us. Mm-hmm. I wonder what that guy's name. I can look him up. But other than that, I want to give a shout out to our Grand Warrior champion at the Wrestling Revolution, Danny Chance. Our South Texas champion, Shooter Roberts, and all the guys that opened the business. You're talking Jim Justice. You have Bandana Joe, Shooter Roberts, all these guys. Danny Ramones. These guys opened the Wrestling Revolution about 4 or 5 years ago. And these guys are there every Friday night. $8 for adults, $5 for children at the historic El Cine del Rey. And guys, it's a very old cinema, right?
It's an old venue, yeah. It's basically the oldest theater or venue in McAllen.
Yeah, 1947.
1930 something, I don't know, but
golly.
Very historical. That's why they call it the historical Cine del Rey. And you guys can watch wrestling matches every Friday night between 8 and 10 for like what, $7?
No, it's $8 for adults, $5. They have kids, and then $1 raffle. You can win a free action figurine, and then whatever money they got left over from the raffle, they give it to you guys if you win that.
Yeah, if you raffle. They have another raffle, so not just one for like a toy, but you get a raffle to win your money back, basically. So
exactly.
It's not a lot of money, but I mean, hey, it's gas money and you get your money back for watching the show. So
it's more money than a jury duty
I've been
check.
wanting to go check out one of the shows again, but I mean, I've been working, so I mean, work's been kicking me in the ass lately.
Yeah.
Is all I'm going to say. I've been doing a lot of training and traveling for the company of HEB. So we got someone that wants to exercise over here. She's ready.
Yeah, after spending $140 on that thing, she better use that.
At least you can monitor your heart also, right? When
Yes.
when you're using it.
Yeah.
That great smile over here on
She loves flipping me off, right?
on her face, yes. All
Right
right,
back at you, honey.
let's close it out. All right, let's give them no gloves.
No gloves, Bubba. No gloves.
No gloves. We'll see you guys later. This is Armbar 97.7 FM, KCYP, the city. If you live in the Mission McAllen area, follow us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/UTPA Armbar, or you can follow us on Twitter at Armbar _ or it's UTPA _ Armbar. Twitter.
And we will see you next week. Take care.
Take care, guys. Have a good night.